Alright, this is Demand 6, and this is part 4 of how to make a mask, demolding and casting. Now here are the steps for demolding. First, remove your clay from your mold. That should be the easiest part. As you can see, it practically flakes right off. And after that, you're going to need some tools. I use 3 small screwdrivers. They're only about flatheads. You use that to kind of like wedge your way into the mold to separate the latex layer from the plaster. The reason you separate the latex from the plaster is because it's just a whole lot easier than trying to get your armature out of the latex. Because if you don't do it that way, you might risk tearing it, and that'll ruin your entire mold. And then if you mess up your clay, you'll have no way of remaking it. So trust me when I say it's easier to remove the latex from the plaster. Now I'm going to warn you straight out. If you did use like slits for eyes like I did in this mask, that's going to be the hardest part to actually demold. So the only way to do that, and you might risk tearing your mold, so I'm going to warn you from now, you have to use your tiny screwdrivers to kind of like wedge in between it. You'll see me doing it later on in the clip as I remove the latex from the clay. As you can see, there, right there, the eye is stuck. The only way to do it is to dig around the eye very gently and try your best not to rip it. And if you do rip your latex on the outside of it, just apply a little bit more latex to kind of mend it like you would tape. Just don't do it on the inside because then you'll change the shape of your design. Okay, now for casting materials. This is what we'll be using, Smooth Cast 305. It's a plastic material, so it's not like the latex. This is going to be a hard plastic mask. And you can use pretty much anything from foam rubbers, latex. In the art stores they have plenty of options. I'm just using this because I thought it would be easier, and I was wrong. Okay, back to the description. So for this, you mix a 1-to-1 ratio, so it's not that hard. I usually do about 2 teaspoons of it at a time, and as you can see, you just have to keep layering it around. Be careful of the nose because that will make like a well, and if you let that harden in, the mask won't fit at all. It'll be very uncomfortable, so you have to keep kind of bailing it out. Now, as you can see, this plastic material is very thin. It's not thick at all, and if you just keep layering it, you're going to be here forever. So later on, I'll show you how to skip that. But for now, you want to make sure you fill in all your designs. You don't want to completely fill it in and realize, oh great, my designs didn't come out or your face does not fit in the mask. So that's why I think I did about 3 layers in the end. So I'll play some music until I get into an important part, which I think will probably be the straps. So when we get to that, I'll talk to you again. Now I know it's going to be kind of hard to see, but in the bottom right corner I'm attaching a band. That's Velcro. That's what we're going to use to hold the mask to our heads. Basically just lay it down there and just keep putting the plastic material over it over and over. I think I had to do like 5 coats to get it to finally be completely covered in the mask. After that, just flip it around the other side, make sure it's even, and do the same thing. Make sure that the band is completely covered. And a hint, you might want to add a bit of tape around it right after where it meets the mask. This way you don't do what I did and get the plastic material on the strap. Now I used Velcro, but what I find would be the best to use would be actually like a thick, maybe an inch and a half, maybe 2 inches wide elastic band that'll go from one side over your ear to the other side. That will probably hold the mask on a whole lot easier. It'll be easier to put on by yourself. So yeah, I guess I'll put on some music real quick and wait for the next part. Now as you can see, the mask is nowhere near thick enough. So this is where it gets interesting. I took another mold of my face, and I'm going to place that on the inside, and I filled that with the plastic material. As you can see, I don't have video of that, but this is me beginning the demolding process. I basically just put the mold of my face inside and filled it. Now here's the thing. After I demolded the mask and tried it on, I realized something important. The mask was so close to my actual face on the inside that I could not move my jaw. So when you do this to make the inside, as you'll see in the video, make it a few times bigger than your face. This way your jaw and everything has room to move around and breathe. Makes everything overall easier. But aside from that, as far as removing goes, I'm using little screwdrivers. Like you can buy them in like a Home Depot or something. They're like less than 2 inches long. Flatheads and a knife. So just go around the sides of your mold and just wiggle it. Be very careful not to damage the outside of the plastic. Try to go in between the plaster and the latex. And if you do have some spillage, like right here, I'm using the scissor, where the plastic material touched the plaster, you just have to like cut it. There's no way to get it out unless you cut that. And once you get it out, do a little sanding around the edges. That's pretty much it. Let's see what's next. Okay, now, as you probably glimpsed sometimes in this video, right on the edge of the mask, there's like a little indentation on the inside. That can be fixed by just adding more plastic material and using clay on the inside. Once it hardens, just break the clay off. Now as you can see for this mask, the molding's pretty much done. The eye's clear, the design stayed. Now, learn from my mistakes. As you can see on the right side of the band, that some of the plastic material got stuck to it, so now that won't bend at all. So when you do that, no matter what you use, elastic, Velcro, put some tape or something on the edge, something that you can remove later on, just in case you get some spilling. Aside from that, this mask came out pretty good. Now for the bad news. Now I have some bad news. This is probably as far as I'm going to get with this project. Because unfortunately, it's kind of hard to believe, I'm allergic to one of the materials. I'm not sure if it's the plastic, the Oomoo, or whatever, but something's affecting me really badly. If you don't believe me, see the time between when this video was uploaded and when the last part was uploaded. There's a huge gap. So I don't even want to go anywhere near this thing. I do plan on making more masks later on, just out of different materials, hopefully. But for now, I'm going to have to say goodbye to this project. I'm afraid to go near it. I really do feel bad after going through 3 videos of showing you how to do this and then not showing you a finished project. But maybe later on, if I get the courage to actually go near this thing again, I probably will paint it and just put some videos up. I don't know if I'll ever get to wear it, because I'm afraid of what might happen, but who knows. For now, I'm planning on making some more masks out of different materials, like paper, I don't know what else. I'll find something. There's always a way. But that's about it. So hopefully you'll learn from my mistakes, and you won't have the same problems I did. Only 3 mistakes to learn from. Well, not too bad. Okay. Well, until next time when I figure out a way around